There is one night no one talks about. One moment when he had the power and chose silence. You already know the name. But you do not know the man behind the mask on that night.
He was the most feared being in the galaxy. And yet something in him stopped. Just once.
Stay with me, because what you are about to hear will change the way you see him forever.
The year was defined not by battles won, but by one order he received and did not carry out.
It was not rebellion. It was not weakness. It was something far more dangerous inside a machine built on fear.
We will get to it. But first you need to understand what it cost him simply to exist each day.
Every breath was mechanical. Every heartbeat monitored. He did not live inside that suit. He was imprisoned by it.
And yet inside that prison something remained. Something the Emperor had tried to burn out completely and nearly succeeded.
That something had a name once. Before the armor, before the betrayal, before everything that came after the fire. This is the story of the night Darth Vader chose mercy, and what that single moment of silence cost him.
It cost him more than you can imagine. And it began not with a weapon, but with a question. The suit required constant power. Without it, he had perhaps 2 minutes. That was not a design flaw.
It was a leash. The Emperor understood that a man who cannot breathe without permission cannot dream of freedom.
Inside the meditation chamber, he could remove the helmet. For minutes only. The silence in there was absolute. In those minutes, he was not the enforcer. He was not the terror. He was simply a man breathing thin air. The pain never stopped. The medical reports sealed for decades describe a body rebuilt not for comfort, but for function.
Function meant obedience. Obedience meant survival. And survival had become the only purpose left after the volcanic fire.
But purpose without meaning is just repetition. And he had repeated this existence for years without asking why.
Until the day a prisoner was brought aboard. Not a soldier, not a spy, someone younger, someone familiar in posture.
You know that feeling when you see a stranger and recognize something in the way they hold their shoulders?
He felt it. Through the mask, through the filters, through the constant noise of life support, he felt recognition. He said nothing. He turned and walked the corridor slowly, his breathing the only sound in that sealed space. He did not go to the interrogation room. He stood at the end of the corridor for 11 minutes. 11 minutes, documented by the security logs that survived. 11 minutes of a man deciding something enormous alone. The prisoner was 17. The files show this clearly. 17 and carrying information that could shift the war. The order was standard. Extract the information by whatever means necessary, and then eliminate the source. He had carried out that order before, many times. He did not hesitate. Until this time, he hesitated.
What did he see through the small viewport in the door? We only have the security footage.
The footage shows him standing at the door for 4 minutes without opening it. 4 minutes is an eternity in war. Inside the cell, the prisoner was sitting on the floor, with both hands flat on the cold, white surface. He recognized that stillness. He had learned it himself on a different kind of floor many years before.
Not trembling, not crying, just sitting. The posture of someone who has accepted what comes next and found stillness. Then he asked one question, not the tactical question. He asked, "How old were you when it started?"
The prisoner answered, 12. The same answer he himself would have given if anyone had thought to ask him. He turned and left the cell. He did not extract the information. He did not carry out the order. He filed a report stating the prisoner had no actionable intelligence and recommended reassignment to a labor facility. Think about what that required. Not courage in the theatrical sense, something quieter and far more costly than courage.
The report was a lie, and he knew it was a lie, and he filed it anyway. That is the turning point.
Think about what that required. Not courage in the theatrical sense. Something quieter and far more costly than courage. It required him to remember who he had been. And remembering was the one thing the suit was designed to prevent. The Emperor had constructed that armor not only for medical reasons. The isolation was intentional. The pain was intentional.
A man in constant pain does not reflect. A man who cannot sleep properly does not dream of alternatives.
But something leaked through. Something the Emperor had not fully accounted for. The body forgets. The deeper self does not.
He walked the corridor after filing the report. His pace was different that day. 3 officers noticed and said nothing.
They noticed because the rhythm of his breathing changed. Not the rate, the rhythm. As if something had loosened slightly.
He went to the meditation chamber. He removed the helmet. He sat for the full duration of the safe window.
What did he think about in those minutes? The logs do not record thought. They record only vital signs and time.
The vital signs show his heart rate was lower than any recorded session in the 2 years prior. Lower than rest.
Lower than rest means something. It means for those minutes something in him had stopped fighting, had allowed itself to be.
The prisoner was transferred as he had requested. The prisoner survived the war. This is documented. The prisoner grew old.
He did not. He had perhaps 4 years left from that day. 4 years inside the machine. But something had shifted.
Not redemption, not transformation. Something smaller and more honest. Something like a single breath of choice in a sealed room.
That breath cost him. The Emperor knew something had changed. Not what, not who, but the architecture of obedience had cracked.
And a cracked wall is not a fallen wall. But it is no longer the same wall it was before. What almost no one knows is that this incident was reviewed internally. 3 times, by different levels of command. Each review concluded the same. The prisoner had carried no immediately actionable intelligence. The lie held. It held because it was built by someone who understood the system completely, who had built parts of it himself. You can only hide something inside a machine if you understand every gear. And he understood every gear intimately.
The records were sealed for years. But the truth is this: one act passed undetected through an empire built on surveillance.
That tells you something about systems. A system built on fear creates people very good at performing compliance.
And a person who performs compliance long enough learns exactly where the gaps are, where the cameras do not look.
He knew where the cameras did not look, because he had designed those blind spots himself, for tactical purposes originally.
He used one blind spot for something with no tactical value whatsoever, for something entirely human.
The prisoner never knew who filed the report. The prisoner spent the war assuming an administrative error had saved them.
There was no administrative error. There was a man standing still in a corridor for 11 minutes making a decision.
A decision that changed nothing strategically, that saved 1 life out of millions, that no one ever knew about.
That is what makes it real. Acts witnessed by no one and serving no advantage reveal the most about character. Not the speeches, not the battles, the 11 minutes alone in a corridor with no audience and no reward. The cost came slowly. The Emperor does not punish what he cannot prove, but he files information differently after a crack. Assignments changed slightly. Autonomy that had been granted was incrementally reduced over the following months. Subtly, precisely. This is how control works at that level. Not through confrontation. Through the slow tightening of available space.
He felt it. Of course he felt it. He had been the instrument of that same tightening against others many times.
What do you do when the mechanism you served turns that mechanism toward you? When you recognize the pattern from inside.
Most people do nothing, because doing something requires believing there is a self worth protecting. That belief had been removed. But a crack in a wall lets in a small amount of light. And a small amount of light is enough to see. He began to see differently after that corridor. Not dramatically, not in ways that produced immediate action. Slowly. The same way the control tightened, his internal orientation shifted in the opposite direction, at approximately the same rate.
Years later, when the moment came that you know about, he was ready in a way he would not have been otherwise.
The capacity to choose had not been entirely extinguished. It had been banked like a coal in ash, still warm. That warmth came from one night, one prisoner, one lie filed in a report 11 people reviewed and no one questioned. You carry things forward without knowing you carry them. A decision in a corridor follows you into different corridors. He learned this the hard way. Or perhaps he always knew it and needed one moment to remember the knowledge.
He learned this the hard way. Or perhaps he always knew it and needed one moment to remember the knowledge.
Memory is not linear. It does not arrive when summoned. It arrives when the present rhymes with something in the past.
We resist the urge to resolve it. Resolution is comfortable. The truth is uncomfortable and more interesting than comfort.
So what do we do with this? A monster who is also a man. A man capable of one merciful act.
You know this. You have met it in yourself. The version capable of cruelty and the version capable of grace.
The truth is that the capacity for both exists in the same person simultaneously. This is not unique to fiction. 11 minutes of stillness, 4 minutes at a door, a report filed with one false sentence. These are not dramatic gestures. What determines which version acts on a given day is not fate. It is the accumulation of small decisions in empty corridors. He wore the heaviest armor in the galaxy and still managed one moment of invisibility. One moment of being just a person. They are the actual texture of character, not the speeches, not the armor, the things done quietly when no one watches. Just a man standing in a corridor deciding. Just a hand that did not reach for what it was authorized to take. That is the story they do not put on the merchandise. The quiet one. The one with no explosion at the center. Character is not what we intend. It is what we choose when choosing costs something. He chose once. It cost him. We do not know what he thought in those 11 minutes. We only know what he did after them. That is enough. He carried the cost. And years later, in a different corridor, when everything was on the line, he chose again. If this story made you think about your own corridors, your own 11 minutes, I would love to hear in the comments. Next time we go somewhere equally unexpected. Same character, different silence. You will not see it coming. Stay with me.